Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Laravel controller. This is not a full introduction of controller. I'm going to talk about the feature you may not be aware, but which is also very useful in your day-to-day development. It's called the single action controller. Let's use the project we have been using for many videos. So this is a message controller. In the API configuration, we have a bunch of routes. So how we specify the corresponding controller and the function for that route, we use the controller class and the corresponding function. So it's an array. So this is how we specify the function for that route. Sometimes we have some complex logic in an API, so we probably want to wrap them in a separate controller. So that controller will be for a very specific business or logic. In that case, how can we wrap them in a separate controller? One way is that, for example, in the message controller, actually we have a single feature or functionality, send. It to send some message. We can do it in this way. It's totally okay, but how can we simplify it? Actually, we can say one parameter or item from this array. This is what we call the single action controller. Let's go to the message controller. I'll show you how we can implement. So we have a requirement to implement some transfer functionality. So we want to build let's copy and paste a controller and rename it to transfer controller. So we might want to transfer some money to the other account. So we rename it. So the service won't be used. Collection probably not as well. No constructor function. Okay, we need a function here. It's called Invoke. So this is what we can use to. Okay, let's name it Invoke. Okay, so this is the function we are going to talk about today. Underscore invoke. With this function, the controller is called single action controller. And we are also going to use, we simply just return something with one property status. Say done. Okay, so simply just some status. We actually do nothing here, just a demonstration on how we can define a single action controller. We need this single function. Okay, and in the API configuration, we can define a new route, say transfer. Instead of the action array, so we can simply pass the transfer controller class, which has a single function invoke. Okay, let's see what it can do for us. Let's make an API call transfer. See, it works. So you don't have to specify the function name for that route. With underscore invoke, Laravel understands that you have a single action controller which is invocable. So it's invocable, so this function will be called implicitly. That's why you can see, yeah, this is the response, what we expect. Actually, this is another way that we can create a invocable or single action controller. We can use command php artisan make controller. Let's say verify controller. We might have some very complex logic in some verification, so we want to wrap them in a separate controller. We can say verify invocable controller created. Let's see what the controller looks like. Okay, let's add the extra suffix to the controller name. So verify controller. Let's also rename it to verify controller. Okay. Now we can see the artisan command also creates the underscore invoke function for us. This is how we can use it as a single action controller. Status verification done. Okay, if needed, we can also add some log. Log debug verifying the request. Okay, so this is the verify controller. In the API we can do the same. Okay, verify controller. Now we can make an API call to the verify endpoint. The response is just has one single property stated verification done. In the log, let's see, verifying the request. So this is how we can define a single action controller, which is invocable. So we have pretty simple logic here, but you can do far more than what I showed you here. So you can wrap your complex business logic in a single controller. Okay, so I think that's it for today. It's pretty straightforward. If you are the senior Laravel developer, which has gone through all the details of the Laravel documentation, you must already be familiar with this part. But if not, feel free to go through and give a try in your day-to-day development. Okay, that's it for today. If you feel it's useful, remember to thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.